This is an absolute must-buy. They thought of everything. This is the cracked Nitro Deck, and we've been so hyped to get our hands on this. Thank you, Nitro Deck, for sending us over a sample. This is not a paid video, so all thoughts are my own as always. It basically turns your Switch into a Switch Pro, or kind of more like a Steam Deck. This is a limited edition GameCube version, so this one comes with the case and everything else, but you can also just buy like the standard versions, which is just the Nitro Deck itself. Very nicely sort of done. And we get a case, and in here as well, you even get a strap for the case. I really like that they've included that, and the case is a nice hard shell case. Again, I'm getting Steam Deck vibes here. Boom. So there we go. There's the Nitro Deck, and we've got some accessories. Right away, you've got this nice little pouch that you can utilize if you want, and you've got game card cases, you know, in the case, and it's molded to fit perfectly the Nitro Deck. We've got a USB-C and A cable just here so that you can use the Nitro Deck as a wired controller. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we get a nice Nitro Deck cleaning cloth for the screen, and we get some spare thumbsticks. And then, of course, we get the Nitro Deck. Now I'm gonna pre-warn you, this video is probably really long because I'm gonna try and cover absolutely everything that I can about the Nitro Deck as my sort of first impressions and first like use case. I have had this for about 4 days now, so I can give you a bit more like over my opinion, but I might do a follow-up video after like an extended use case. This is the Nitro Deck, and I love it. Like, it is just so nice looking. This GameCube colorway, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, you get this big old sticker on the front, and basically what it says is, before attaching the Switch to the Nitro Deck, open the Switch settings and turn on Pro Controller wired connections. And you need to do this because this actually acts as a wired controller, because your Switch slots into the USB-C port at the bottom there. It's not wireless. No, it doesn't have any batteries inside it. It takes the power of the Switch, but it's not going to be draining the battery like excessively because it's quite a low powered thing. Do you know what I mean? But it will have an effect on battery life compared to like the Joy-Cons, which have internal batteries. So what we need to do is take this sticker off and get rid of that. And then you've got this nice looking design on the back. It's not just black either. You know, it is just black, but you know, you've got a bit of a design there. They've got some nice like slidey rails on the side as well, so that the Switch slides in nicely, which I like to see. You've got some catches at the bottom, and I love this because most of the other kind of drop-in style sort of Switch accessories that I've reviewed, because I've reviewed a fair few of them in the past, they don't lock in, they just kind of like push fit or whatever. This actually locks the Switch in, and it's got a switch on the back to remove it. So once your Switch is in, you can turn it up and shake it, you know, and it's not coming out. It is locked in until you release those mechanisms down in the corner there by sliding this up. And I really like that feature. On the front, we've got our face buttons, which I really like. I've reviewed so many controllers. I'm so fussy with buttons, sticks, and everything else. But these are like domed, and they're really nice, like glossy plastic. They just feel nice without being like overly slippy. You get a good sort of grip on there, and I just like it. They're all consistent as well. They're not horribly spongy. There's no pre or post travel. They just work. Love it. Then we've got, you know, our plus button, we've got our minus button, we've got our D-pad. We'll go over all of this in more detail soon. We've got a screenshot button, we've got the cracked button, which is also the home button, but this actually does a ton of stuff, so we'll go over that as well. We've got the joysticks, and yes, it's got Hall Effect joysticks and Hall Effect triggers as well. We've got the bumpers, which are clicky. So they're nice and clicky, and they actuate all over as well. So you can press it anywhere and it actuates perfect. Like, that is beautiful. And they're consistent within themselves. The triggers are really nice. They're, you know, like almost analog. They're not analog, they're digital, but they're nice and smooth feeling. On the top, we've got a cutout so that you can actually get to your game case, because the retro flag controller, which I also really love, didn't have that. And it was one of my biggest gripes because you couldn't change the game without removing the switch. You've also got all of this ventilation just here, and you've even got little notches on the front here for the speakers on the Switch OLED. They really thought about this design, and I love that. Now the back definitely reminds me of a Steam Deck. You've got all of these buttons. So S1 to S4 back paddles, essentially. So you can press them here and they are perfectly placed just like the Steam Deck so that you can map these to whatever you want. And this is for their app, which lets you sort of collect these. And we'll scan this today because I've not scanned it yet to see which one I've got. Then we've got this notch at the top here, and I'm totally cool with this. This does not bother me whatsoever. In use, you don't even like notice it. So you've got USB-C, USB-C. Now this one input is for charging the Switch via the Nitro Deck. So you plug it in there so that you don't have to remove your Switch and charge it that way, right? You don't need to use the bottom here. You just plug it in there, which is excellent. And if you want to use this as a wired controller, well, then you can put it into the output with the included cable that they give you, right? And then you can use this as a wired controller on PC and on Switch. Yeah, it's just really well made. It's really well put together. The thing is sturdy. There is no rattling whatsoever of any of the buttons, any of the triggers. Like, it's just so solid. Like, this has definitely gone through some really good testing and manufacturing. And they've even got these like lovely grips around here. And it's a really nice design. I really like it. But let's get the Switch and stick it in. So all you do to put it in is lay it flat, get your Switch OLED, be careful with it, of course, but those like glide rails on the side really make it slide in nicely, which is cool. So you just get it in, push it in, keep pushing, click, it's in. And now that has locked in and my Switch is not coming out of there. You know, like I can really give it a throw around, it's not coming out, and there's still no rattle, which is awesome. Then obviously to remove it, you flick that up, which releases the two latches, and then you just grab this with your thumb and just slide it out. I have no problems whatsoever holding this upside down and worrying my Switch is coming out, because it won't. That's what you need to have on for this to register. If you don't have that on, it won't work. It's not massively heavy, but obviously it is heavier than just with the Joy-Cons on, right? But I love this. The ergonomics of this are perfect. Like, it just fits in your hands so well. It really does, because when you look at it from top down, and it stands up like this, by the way. I forgot to tell you about the stand, the kickstand. We'll look at that in a second. But you can just stick it upright. Just lay it down. Obviously, it's a bit more like unstable. So if you want to, you can pull out your kickstand, which goes all the way to like ridiculous, which is, yeah, you know, that's not really doing anything now, but it can be pretty much anywhere you want it. And that's great. I love the kickstand. But back to the ergonomics, you can see when it's top down that you've got really ergonomic grips around the back there, and your hands just fit naturally around this thing. Like, it is so nice. I love how beefy it is. Like, when you compare it to the Joy-Con, look how measly the Joy-Con is with like no ergonomics. It's so uncomfortable, whereas this is really beefy. It's like holding a real controller, and it just fits. It fits into your hands perfectly. So it does not have Amiibo support. It doesn't have HD rumble either, but the rumble is actually really good. It's just like a standard like feedback, but it's consistent. It's not overly loud. You can't change the rumble at all. It's just locked in, but I actually like it. But it does have gyro support, and it is that is really quick at responding. I'm not getting any delay. These back paddles are out of the box already pre-assigned. So these are assigned to ZR, ZL, R, and L, but you can change that. So all you need to do is press the program button. So I'm going to press the program button and hold it until the LED flashes purple. Then I have 10 seconds to change that. So let's just press B and put it to the top right one. Now it's gone purple and now white. And now I can press B, or I can hold B, right? And it's working as B, and the rest are just as they are, right? So what I'm gonna do is go into Zelda here. I can hit with this, right? So I can use this. Now the other good thing is this is a complete button swap, right? So now when I hold this button, I'm now holding down, you know, this attack. So this is a true button swap. It's not just like a 1 second record of that button. We can reset that by pressing down the program button until the LED flashes, like so. Then I'm going to press the button again, and it's going to go white, and now we've got it back to ZR, which is cool. But that's not the only thing you can do. You can actually program like macro recordings. So what I'm going to do is assign a bunch of buttons, right? So I'm gonna hold down the program until it flashes, and then I'm gonna go jump, jump, hit, hit, and whatever B does. There we go. And then I'm gonna do the top right one. So I've just assigned it to this one. And now when I press it, it's going to do that action. If I press and hold it, it's actually gonna auto turbo it. So it's already assigned turbo to that. But the thing I've seen is that it doesn't record your macro time sensitively. Other controllers can record a macro in a time sensitive like period, right? And then it's going to know how long you've pressed those buttons. So I could press A, 1, 2, B, 1, 2, A. And then when I play that, it's gonna go A, 1, 2, B, 1, 2, A. This doesn't do that. This just spams all of those button inputs as quickly as possible. And I can show you that back in the settings. So now if I press it, boom, see how quickly it inputted that? I didn't do it that quickly, but it's gonna spam it like that. And let's just clear it by pressing loads of Bs. If I hold it down, whoa, it's automatically turboing it. That might be a bit of a con to some people. I want to ask them whether or not this was intentional, or maybe if there's, you know, a setting that I've done on this, even though this is how it came out of the box. Now, obviously, if you want to clear the recording, I've showed you already that you press that until it flashes and then you can press the button again, or you can press and hold program for 5 seconds and it will reset all of them, or you can press and hold it for 7 seconds and it will wipe them so that they don't act as anything. Now the program button also affects your LED light. That's on full brightness just here. I can turn it down one, I can turn it down again, or I can have it off entirely, which is really nice. I love that they've thought about that, because obviously having it off is not going to drain your battery. I'm just going to leave it on. So yes, this does also have a separate turbo feature so that you can assign turbo to just one button. So that means that you can press and hold one button and it will spam it for you. Now to do this, what we need to do is press ZL and minus until that light goes green. Now if I press plus, it will increase the level of turbo and it will vibrate when it gets to the maximum. If I press minus, it will slow it down until it goes to the slowest, right? And then it will vibrate to tell you that it's at the slowest. And then I'm gonna do X, right? Now it's going to stay green to say that X has now been turboed. So what we can do is go to test controller buttons here. I'm going to press X once. If I press and hold X, it's now, you can see that light's flashing to indicate that that is pressing it loads of times. So we can clear it as well by holding ZL and plus, right? And that LED is going to flash until it goes white, and now turbo has gone. Now, another thing I forgot to mention about reprogramming and macroing, right, is the fact that you can assign any button to any of this. The only ones you cannot assign are home and screenshot, but you can assign the D-pad directions. You can even assign a direction on the joystick to these back paddles. Now, let's say you wanted to use this as a wired controller. What you need to do is actually press the left and right sticks in together to set it into like wired mode, so like controller mode instead of this docked mode, right? Hold these two down for a few seconds. Oh, there you go. And now it's gone orange to say that now this is a sort of wired controller. And you can see it's not working because it's now wired. It's trying to detect that it's plugged into the docked. And to cancel that, we do the same thing. So press both sticks in for a few seconds, and now it's gone white. Oh look, and now it's working again here. Now, I'm never really gonna use this as a wired controller, but you can do it, and that's awesome that that's just a feature for people that wanna use that. Now, the joysticks are what we're here for as well, right? They are Hall effect sensing joysticks, which means it's not gonna drift at all, and it also means they have basically no dead zone whatsoever. They're way more accurate as well, and yeah, they're great. They are absolutely great. They feel amazing. They really do. They're so smooth and lovely. And you can see the dead zone thing, right? If I start pressing it, I'm moving and I'm hardly pressing that. Same with this. I've only just touched it and the camera is spinning. So the dead zone there is just non-existent. And I'll show you again in the settings. So I'm just going to hardly touch it. There we go. It's already going. It is really, really responsive. It is just such a good set of sticks. Like, there is no Deadzone on there whatsoever, and that is the same on the other stick as well. Now, the other thing you can do is replace the caps, which I love. I love the fact that they've included this as well. Just another thing they've thought of. And to do that, you just literally pull up, right? And then you get some spares in the box, which are like domed, so they are concave rather than convex like these ones, right? So that I can swap this over and just push it on like so, and now I've got it like this instead. So now we have this kind of style instead of this one. And to be honest, they feel lovely. These grips that they've done here, which is their like weird little logo thing, which is underneath where the switch goes in, it feels lush. So you can chop and change, and they are saying that they're going to sell different ones on their website in the future, but I love the fact that you can replace them. Now the D-pad. The D-pad is actually really nice. It's one of the better ones that I've tested on any controller or any Switch like Joy-Con alternatives. It is a really nice D-pad. I would say, just from my limited use with this, I still think the retro flag D-pad is better. Sorry, Cracked, but that's your only downfall here. So to be honest, I think that's pretty good. But yeah, it rolls nicely. It's not clicky and horrible. It protrudes really well. It's got a nice concave area in the middle there. It feels really good. It's not mushy and horrible. It's really good. Like, I do really like it. It's just, I think I prefer the retro flag one because the retro flag one is larger. It's like a bigger D-pad. It's just that little bit better. But honestly, the D-pad is where most controllers fail, and this one's really good. Now, in use, this is just amazing. I am in love with the feel of the Nitro Deck, and those back paddles are just perfect. They really, really are. They feel so nice in the hand. This whole thing just feels excellent. And again, I've been playing F-Zero 99 just here because, you know, why not? And it just feels really good with these back paddles because you can drift and you can hit with the back paddles. And of course, you can assign them to whatever you want, but it just works so well out of the box, having them naturally like assigned to the triggers. Now, I'm gonna suck at this because I'm talking whilst I'm playing, right? But you can see how responsive these sticks are here. And the same with the D-pad. The D-pad is just so good. Like, it really is. Wow, this is going crazy. But yeah, the back paddles just here, I can drift like left and right with the back paddles, and I can also, you know, hit. So I can spin, hit, and all that good stuff with these back paddles, which is really, really cool. But this is such a responsive controller. Like, it really, really is responsive. Like, as soon as I'm pressing a direction with these Hall Effect joysticks, it is just absolutely registering in my input. And the same with all of it. There's not a single thing that I've been using over the past 4 days that I've gone, I really don't like that, or I don't really like the way that they've done this. Like, I really can't fault it, to be perfectly honest. The only thing that I am a little bit like at fault with here is the fact that it doesn't have HD rumble, and even then it feels good. Like, this is rumbling all the time because I'm on this highway thing, right? And it feels good because it's not too intrusive, it's not overly loud. Like, this whole thing is just, it just wins. It really does. Now let's have a look at the app. Right, it says, now that I've opened it, tap your product. So I'm not sure where my NFC reader is on my phone. Oh, something's happening. There we go. Reveal rank and product number. Yep. So there we go. Mine is 7,156. You can see everything here. Product number 7,156 out of 10,000. And this whole app is for like collecting them. So it shows you that it's the retro purple edition for the Switch, manufacture dates and all that good stuff here, register product. And yeah, I think that's really cool. Now, this does assign it to my account, right? But if I wanted to sell this or give it to somebody else, you can unlock it so that someone else can scan this, which is really cool. But the whole idea of this app is for collectors, so that you could buy different versions of this, because they do all the different limited edition ones, right? And just the standard ones and stuff, and you can add them to your account. You can go to the shop, which brings up the website. It's really cool. You can go to their YouTube channel and see your account information and all that good stuff. So you can see all the different versions on here. You can shop through the website, and that goes on to price really whilst we're here, right? So you can see that the limited edition ones are £90 here here in the UK. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is in America at the minute. I'm supposing it's $100 or over $100 for these limited edition ones with the cases. And then the normal ones go for £60. So that's probably what, gonna be like $70, $80 in America. And yes, I'm fully aware this video has gone on way too long, but I wanted to give you access to everything that this can do. Like, I think I've covered everything. I think I've covered everything. I'm in love with this. This turns your Switch into a Switch Pro, essentially. It really does, especially the OLED. You know, this is just a must-have for any handheld gamer. And I'd say this is probably my favorite thing I've reviewed in a long time. The best thing that I've been like most hyped for and then not let down by. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so many things I've tested in the past I'm like so hyped for. I've got it, and then I've gone, okay, it sucks because of this, or it's not very good because of that, or why did they not do this? This hasn't done that. I've been so hyped to get my hands on this, and it's lived up to everything. Like, the expectations have been great. Now, obviously I've only had 4 days with it. I'm gonna spend some more time with it and then probably come back to you, potentially, maybe, if that's something you wanna see, with any gripes I might have or anything that I found not working. Overall, this thing is a beast. Like, it is absolutely great. I'm in love with it. Like, I really am. The ergonomics are perfect. It just, everything works about it, you know? It just feels great. The sticks are great, the Hall effect sensors and all that good stuff. It's just a really clever design, and I think if you use your Switch handheld, it's a must buy. I'd even pay full price for it. If I didn't receive this as a free sample to, you know, show everyone here, I would be more than happy paying for this. I really would, because I spend most of my time playing handheld, and I'm always trying to buy or find new Joy-Con alternatives that click with me. And this does everything I would want and more. So there you go, that's been our look at the Nitro Deck by Cracked. What are your opinions? Have you been super hyped for this? Are you like not overly sure on some things? Let me know in the comments and I might reply to you and your questions. But whilst you're down there, go subscribe, of course, like this video, and then go and check out me and AJ over on 128KB podcast, where we talk about all things gaming, and watch another video from me here. And well, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.